Hey guys, it's Derek from Walker and Wood. Welcome back to another video, and today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own cutting board. Now this cutting board is a little bit different than the normal cutting board that I make because this is 13 inches wide by 24 inches long. Huge cutting board. But if you've been following my Instagram for a little bit, you've noticed that I made my very first cutting board was for my wife, and it was a huge board, and we recently were invited to a party, and so we brought that along with us, and they said, hey, we want a board just like that. So here we are. So stay tuned to this video and I'm going to show you how you can make your very own board just like this. I already had some wood milled up in the shop, so what I did was I took it over to my table saw and I ripped it down to the desired width and depth. I ripped mine to 1.5 inches. Then went to the miter saw and I cut up the hard maple that I was going to use as the accent piece for this cutting board. I then went to the jointer and I ran the board through a couple of times just so that I would have a flat edge surface that I could run through the table saw. I cut my maple pieces at 3/4 of an inch thick. Next is time for the glue up. Here I'm applying a generous amount of glue to the boards. Next, it's time to put the glued pieces of wood together in the desired pattern. Then it's time to clamp the piece together using my Rockler bar clamps. I get a lot of questions about what clamps that I use, and these are the Rockler bar clamps, and I love these. Highly recommend them if you're in the market for some bar clamps. I let the board sit for several hours before releasing the clamps. Then I take an old chisel and I just begin scraping off some of the excess glue before putting it through the planer. Next I feed it through the thickness planer to get it down to the desired thickness and then also to smooth out the surface. Then I take it over to my cross-cut sled on my table saw just to square up both edges of the cutting board. Next it's time to give this board a round over using my router with a Freud round over bit. Time for sanding. I give it a rough sanding at 120 before finishing it off with some 220 to bring it up to a nice smooth surface. I always like to brand my board, so here I am just heating up my iron from Gearhart Industry, and I always brand it on the back. This is my favorite step in the cutting board making process. Here I am applying some walrus oil to the board, and as you can see, look at the grain begin to pop as the oil covers this board. The final step is to apply a nice coat of walrus oil wood wax. This will seal the board and it's ready to go out the door. And here we have the finished project, a 13 by 24 inch cutting board. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, I would really love it if you would give me the thumbs up and click the subscribe button at the bottom. Again, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.